Hey guys, I know it's been a long time since I last video updated, but my computer actually messed up, and I just got out of school, been busy with ministry and whatnot. I just didn't get around to it. Hopefully you guys will find this video useful. I'm gonna talk about what makes a great worship leader and how to lead worship effectively. These are just a few tips that I've learned from doing it for so long. Number one, I found that the heart is the most important thing. Talent is really nothing. It's not everything. I have heard plenty of people lead great worship services with almost no talent. You don't have to have the perfect voice. You don't have to have the perfect instrument. You don't have to have the perfect band, perfect everything. It's not about that. It's all about the heart. And your heart is going to reflect itself in your worship services. Your personal devotion life is going to show itself. It's going to echo through your worship. And when you're up there leading, if you don't have a good devotional life, it's going to reflect the way you lead worship. Your heart won't be in it as good. The people won't react as good. Everything about leading worship is about your heart, where you're at, why you're there, stuff like that. But on the similar note, make sure you practice. Be sure to practice a bunch. There's a bunch of worship bands out there that are not bands professional, but bands in a church that could really be effective. It's just that they don't practice very much. And I believe that you should be led by the Spirit in your worship leading. However, I do not feel that it is right to be lazy in your worship and never practice the instrument, never practice singing or the songs or anything like that, and just expect God to cover for you. I don't believe that that's right. And also lead. You're up there to lead, so make sure that when you're up there, you are leading. Don't do your own thing, and don't distract from worship. In other words, when you're up there, make sure that the people know what they're supposed to be doing. You're leading them, so you have to, don't just get up there and sing songs. Interact with the people, but don't do it in such a way where it detracts from worship. One thing that I see a lot is worship leaders doing things where in between a song they'll go to a slow song where they'll try to build up an emotion, an emotional response instead of a praise to God. And during this time they'll get up there and sing something, and they'll try to preach to the people and really beat them over the head about what they should be doing. And it doesn't work as great as it sounds. It sounds like, oh, if you get up there and do that, but no, that's not what worship leading is about at all. Remember that it's not a show, and to be prepared for any circumstance. You don't know if anything's going to break, if the lights are going to go out. You don't know what's going to happen, so just be prepared for whatever might happen. Also, don't forget to memorize songs. Be prepared to do fewer songs if people aren't worshiping and you're just kind of dragging it out. Make sure that you can have fewer songs and you can cut it off. But also in the same breath, if the Spirit starts moving and you feel like you should keep going, make sure that you have songs prepared. And for anywhere to where the Spirit leads you, to where you're prepared for that, which goes back to the heart of the worship leader. Exactly what it always comes down to is the heart. You won't know what to do if you're not in close walk with God. You'll think, oh, I should do this, when in actuality it's not God speaking and telling you to do that. It's you speaking and telling you to do that. Don't try to do everything. Don't try to be the preacher and the worshiper and the person who does the prayer requests and everything. Don't try to be everything. Get up there and do your job and work effectively united with the other leaders in the church. Get up there, lead the people in worship. Do your thing, and when it's time for you to stop, be sure to stop. Don't drag it out. Don't beat them, because you don't beat sheep, you beat cattle. And the church is sheep, not cattle. So you're not supposed to be beating these people over the head. You're supposed to encourage them. If need be, rebuke and correct them, but don't forget the encouragement part. You're not the pastor, you're just the worship leader, and it's your job to lead the worship. Be creative with what you're doing. Don't settle for the same thing just because it's the way you've been taught, but instead be creative and do how you feel is the right way to lead the set. Avoid too much repetition. In your song list, don't do the same songs every week, but don't do all new songs every week, you know. Avoid too much repetition where it's just like you beat something to the ground, but you don't have to always end a song before you go to the next song. In other words, okay, you sing a song, you know, how great is our God, sing with me, how great is our God, and all will see how great is our God. Complete stop. Awkward pause, and then go to the next song. No, you don't always have to do that. Chris Tomlin gives us the perfect example with that song on his live CD, Live from Austin Music Hall or something like that. And he goes, how great is our God. Then he goes to how great they are. Then sings my soul. And he doesn't even stop, he just keeps going. That's the perfect example of how we as worship leaders don't need to always stop to transition to the next song. You don't have to do a song same as the artist. You can be fluid like with it. You can repeat stuff if you want to. You know, you can hop around, whatever. Be united with your teammates, your band teammates. Make prayer your foundation before you start everything. Just make sure that your team has prayer as a major part of their life and as the band. Your spiritual progress will be mirrored by them. So you have to stay faithful. You are always an example. Memorize songs. Follow the Spirit's leadings. Eye contact when you're singing songs. Maintain eye contact with the people. Lead by example. Don't expect them to do what you won't. Be diverse with your song list. Experiment to see what fits your specific group. You're not trying to change their minds. You're just trying to be sincere and pick what fits. And what I do is I go from fast to slow. You know, I'll do like a couple fast songs, a couple medium songs, a couple slow songs. Worship leaders need to lead, so be sure to lead. You don't need to do all Hillsong United all the time. You know, Hillsong United is a great band, and they really know how to worship. They write great worship songs, but that does not mean that they're God, and they will not move the Spirit more than any other worship songs. And but also you need to be sure to pick something that they will like instead of picking something that you like. For instance, if you're leading for older people I should say, please don't take offense to that. If you're leading for older people that like hymns, do hymns. You don't need to do newer songs just to try to teach them what's out. You know, just work good with your congregation and work effectively, and remember that it's all about your heart.